What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, you see who I'm with. It's been a long time since I've been able to introduce this young lady, but I am live with the host of Diversity with Delilah, Delilah Crespo. What up, Delilah?
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going?
Yeah. Coming close to the end of that school year, or at least with the kids.
Wrapping it up, yes. Wrapping it up.
Summer is here. But look, so, hey, we know in 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, on Let's Talk Football on my YouTube channel, even on here, we are going to play tonight's episode of Diversity with Delilah, which is about Justine Lindsay. Delilah, go ahead, give us a little background on her.
Yeah, so she is actually a cheerleader for the Carolina Panthers called the Popcats, and she is the first openly trans cheerleader in the NFL. She became an NFL cheerleader in 2022, and so it being Pride Month, I felt like this was a perfect opportunity to bring her up and talk about her in my latest episode of Diversity with Delilah.
Love it. Hey, we're back. It's been long overdue. I'm glad we brought it back. It was the first major segment that we had as on the roundtable and as part of the Let's Talk Football community. But a lot of people don't really know kind of how it got started. So Delilah, kind of talk to us about like the origins of Diversity with Delilah.
Yeah. So obviously a lot of you know Kat, right? Sean's fiance, and she's also an educator. And along years ago, when we started the roundtable, we started talking about representation, how important that is just as a teacher and an educator. And then I realized that we need to talk about it also in sports. And since it wasn't a football show, I figured that it would be a good idea to bring up all these different people who broke down barriers, right, into the NFL. We know that it's not perfect, but it's definitely better than it's been. And so I always want to talk about those trailblazers, all these different, and not just the athletes, right? Because of course athletes are important. We're talking about the cheerleaders, we're talking about executives, we're talking about just all aspects of what makes the NFL what it is. And so we always thought it was really important to kind of spotlight those people that are, bringing diversity to the NFL, one person at a time, one voice at a time, and, chipping away at that.
Absolutely. And remind people of some of the names that you've done. I know Jim Plunkett is one of the names, one of the first ones you did, Jim Thorpe.
Of course, we talk about Thorpe because him being Indigenous American, he lost a lot of his credibility. And so I thought it was really important to talk about that and bring, make sure that we talked about these people that were given their accolades after, but that still kind of came down and, broke down these barriers. I always make sure to spotlight people that kind of joined football before the merger, right? So I often have brought up players and coaches and all these different people that were part of the two different organizations at the time, right? Because the NFL is modern. And so I always try to talk about the pre-Super Bowl era and after Super Bowl era, before the merger. And so that's why sometimes I also talk about the AFL, which is the American Football League, which is now the American Conference, right? So it's keeping all that in order. And so it's always good to make sure that we're talking about everyone involved. That was also the first time we started talking about women in the NFL as well. So I always wanted to make sure that I was covering a broad scope of diversity, right? So representation when it comes to gender, to ethnicity, to race, to sexuality. And so I wanted to just make sure that I covered a lot of different aspects and not just focus on one group.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Now I have another question, but shout out, we got a bunch of people here watching and appreciate you stick by us because right after we finish this interview, we're going to do this week's episode of Diversity with Delilah. But I had to point out this question. Shout out to Chris. Do you think, Delilah, we will ever see a female coach in the NFL be as real as you need to be?
I mean, I don't think anywhere in the near future, but I do think it is possible because there are female coaches already in NFL. I did
Right.
spotlight them. I talked about diversity with Delilah, but I also we often mention all the female coaches also on the ladies football show as well. And
Yep.
so there are female coaches in the NFL, and I do think that eventually we might see a head coach. I just don't think we'll see it right away.
Yeah.
I think it's still going to take way more time because we're still debating like having black head coaches, right? So imagine having a female head coach. So you know what I mean? So I still think it's gonna be slow moving. Will we see a female head coach? I think we will. It's just I don't think it'll be anytime soon, unfortunately. I just don't think it's that progressive enough that we'll see a female, head coach anytime soon. But I do think that what we'll see first, though, I think they'll get those coordinator positions, though.
Yes.
Right. So I think those coordinator positions would be somewhere where we would see women elevated first before even getting to the head coach. So we might see higher coaching positions of women being involved just because they're already entering into it anyway. So, but I do see that happening before we see a head coach.
Oh yeah. We are a lot farther away from where we started, but we still have a long way to go. So yeah, we're making progress, So, and I like I heard people say, you said it before, I'll be glad when we're not always having to spot out this is the first. You know what I mean? For the African American community, it was that in the 80s, the first black coach, first black quarterback, yada. The same with now women in this, So let's just get it to the best qualified person in that position. There we go.
Exactly. And you're right. We do have NFL team owners that are women. We still do. And I've also spoken about them on Diversity with Delilah. We also cover a lot of them on the ladies football show. But that's ownership. I feel like it's still coaching. I feel has a higher stigma attached to it than like ownership, because that just means you have the funds, right? Doesn't mean you don't have the experience, but I'm saying that means you have the money behind you to actually be able to manage and own the team. And so but coaching, I feel like that's going to be a lot harder to do, in my opinion, to get to that head coaching. But yeah, you're right. There have been, and there still are a lot of actual women owners. Virginia, hello, the Bears.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
No, but so definitely a lot of women owners for sure. But coaching, I feel like that's just a little different. I think.
Didn't you talk about her, Amy Adams Strunk? Yeah.
Yep.
So absolutely, yes. All right, and look, so we're real close. We're about a minute away before the show starts. But I wanted to really quickly. What's coming up in the future? What do you have anything on Roundtable?
So of course, coming back with the Roundtable in the fall. Obviously, you've seen us pop up every so often, doing some specials and things like that. Definitely going to continue with Diversity with Delilah. I don't know, we'll do it like this, or it'll go back to one of the original shows. Not sure yet, but definitely going to continue with those. Still not sure how the ladies football's going to work in the fall. Hopefully, Danae and I will be back for that. I would love that. But definitely, I'm still going to be doing football. I'm still going to be doing the segments. I'm still going to be doing Roundtable. I'll still be popping up in a lot of different, areas. And then who knows? Maybe I'll have my own show. So no, we'll figure that out. We're still working on that.
Come on now. Speak it. I'm ready. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. I also wanted to say this. Thanks, Johnny. Norma Hunt was the only owner who attended all 57 Super Bowls. I believe she was the wife or daughter of Lamar Hunt.
Yes.
But she passed away today. So R.I.P.
She did. I saw that too I saw that in the news. Yeah.
So unfortunately, but yes. So Delilah, we appreciate you being on here. I'm so excited to see what we got. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and share it.
Diversity with Delilah.
Hi, everybody. Here I am, Delilah Crespo, with another episode of Diversity with Delilah. And June is Pride Month, so happy Pride Month. So here we go. Today, I am talking about Miss Justine Lindsay. She is the first only trans NFL cheerleader. She is a cheerleader for the Carolina Panthers, and their cheer squad is known as the Top Cats. She became a cheerleader for them in the 2022 season. But let's talk a little bit about Justine. She is a Charlotte native. Justine has said her love and belief in a loving God has propelled her to where she is. It's what keeps her going, as well as her loving, loving family. She came out to them when she was 12 years old and transitioned when she was 17. They showered her with nothing but love and support. She went to North Carolina Dance Theater. It's known as the Charlotte Ballet today. There she trained in ballet, modern jazz, contemporary jazz. She also went out to California and studied under the great Debbie Allen. If you don't know who Debbie Allen is, you need to look her up. She is, some people know this, some people don't, but she is the sister of Felicia Rashad. Felicia Rashad was on The Cosby Show. Debbie Allen is known as one of the best dancers out there, best choreographers. And so Miss Justine Lindsay went and studied under her in California, where she trained in hip hop, salsa, flamenco, African dance, and musical theater acting. Justine also went to Johnson C. Smith University, where she was on their pep squad, which at the time was called the Golden Bullets. So that's where she started getting her cheer experience. Her coach was super supportive of her as well. The summer of 2021, she was scrolling the internet as we do. She saw an ad for the Carolina Panthers on their website where they were looking for tryouts. And so again, the cheer squad for Carolina Panthers, they're called the Top Cats. She decided to take a chance and she registered her name. After she registered her name, she was so scared she called her mama. And her mom, supportive, said, "What? You're scared for what? You know how to dance, so just go out there and do your thing. Then if you don't make it, you go back and try again." And that instilled to her that she could get it done. And what happened when trials came out? Justine went out, went through the whole cheer squad process for Carolina Panthers, and she wound up chosen. Again, she became part of the Top Cats in the 2022 season. Her belief in God, her faith, and her family, the fact that she's had all this wonderful support. I'm so happy that she had so many loving people around her, and she did not let her faith be diminished. And she has used that to continue to fight for herself and continue to push forward and be a dancer, which is what she loves to do. So again, that is your DWD spotlight for today, Miss Justine Lindsay. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Summer is here. Go out there and enjoy, everybody. Ta-ta for now.
Delilah Crespo is going to be known for Let's Talk Football Round Table.
Yeah.
And Let's Talk Football Ladies.
Hey.
I mean, Delilah, like we talk about women involved in the NFL. We talk about, definitely opening up, but this opens a whole new door. How do you feel about this?
No, I think it's great, especially because her experience didn't come from trauma. And I thought that was very refreshing because often people who grow up in a small town in the South, often they don't get that type of support. Right. It's just facts, right? And so she said that, her faith and her family is what kept her going, kept her motivated, and how supportive they were. So again, I thought that was a refreshing outlook of sharing some joy, that there are successes out there that doesn't always come from pain, because often when we hear struggles, it's always pain, which I'm not saying we shouldn't learn about that, but there's also other people that luckily have had support and love, to keep them going and, staying in this trajectory. And so that's why I thought that was refreshing, learning about Justine, is just how much her family loves her and supported her and told her to go out there and do it. And, she said she really relied on God and her faith to also keep her going, to believe in herself. And so I thought that was just a positive, wonderful story to kind of start Pride Month with. So.
Absolutely. Hey, and I love it. Now, do you know, I was going to ask you kind of what you have in store as far as other people you're going to look at. Do you know who you're going to cover next?
Not right off the bat. Often I go by I start digging into like kind of what I want to talk about. I don't always follow like, it's Pride Month, it's Black History, but I always want to emphasize, because that's what these months are about. That's why my first video covered an Asian American. And as you saw, as a referee, so I spread it around. I always make sure I'm touching upon all the different aspects of the NFL, right? The different components, and not just players and coaches and things like that. And so, so I don't know who I'm going to cover next. So,
Hey, that's good. Well, hey, you'll leave us in suspense, and that's keep them coming back. Absolutely. Hey, look, so we appreciate you being on here, Delilah. We appreciate all of you sitting here watching us, taking the time to be in here in the comments and just go back and forth with us. Look forward to Delilah coming this fall with the roundtable, the ladies takeover, maybe another show we're talking about. We'll see. And more from Diversity with Delilah.
Yes,
you know definitely. It is. It's your boy, Sean Spencer. That's my girl, Delilah Crespo.
Woo! All right, guys.
We'll see you next time, people.
Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, yeah. Peace, people.